Hey guys, it's Rob, and welcome back to God is Now Here, the channel that asks where God is in the world and what it all means. This is the first of several weekly episodes I'm going to put out in addition to the usual ones, because we've got a growing pandemic on our hands and people have a lot of questions. So today the first thing we're going to talk about is, what does our fear mean in the midst of all this chaos? Let's dive in. I recently came back from a week away from social media as part of a Lenten study I've been doing, and I'll talk about that in a later video. But the important thing to know is that throughout this week, while the COVID-19 pandemic was happening, I was able to look specifically for what information I wanted, where I wanted to get it from resources I trusted, and I didn't really feel overwhelmed by it. Meanwhile, when I came back to social media, I found people in a lot of states of panic and unease and unrest because they were just being bombarded left and right with articles, whether they were real or fake, and there was a lot of fear going on there. We began seeing our religious institutions closing their doors, along with schools and businesses. This might have you wondering where God could possibly be in this, and maybe you're thinking this is proof that there really is no God. But what if I were to tell you that this fear is actually a gift that God's given you, and it is exactly what is needed for such a time as this? Humans are not simply mindless drones who go about their day feeling nothing. We were created with this wide range of emotions, joy, sadness, empathy, anger, loneliness, and many more. When I look around, I see some who are ignoring their fear or trying to push it away. And what happens here is we end up ignoring the health officials and government officials who are trying to come up with plans and procedures so we can get this virus under control. On the other side of things, there are times we let the fear take control. This is where people begin panicking and buying up excessive amounts of toilet paper and food and other supplies, and we think only of what we want for ourselves and maybe don't leave enough for those who also need it. Everything we might consider a negative emotion can really be a positive if kept under control. For example, loneliness is just our way of letting ourselves know that we need human connection. It can drive us to connect with other people. Anger, when kept in check, can bring something up in us that makes us fight for justice, that makes us defend those who can't defend themselves. Likewise, I've seen how a healthy dose of fear can make us clear-headed and really think about the seriousness we're dealing with the coronavirus and push us into action to help one another cope and get through these challenging times. Our worship leaders have embraced new ways of doing worship online, like video and live streaming, to make sure that our worship communities are still able to gather in some form. And people are starting to see that we have to push aside our fear of the other, because all of us, whether divided by race, class, ethnicity, sexual orientation, age, immigration status, anything, all of us are in this together. There are many places in Scripture we're told not to be afraid. For example, Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." I don't see that as a contradiction, that we shouldn't be afraid. I see that as God reminding us that we don't need to let that fear take over, because God has our backs through all of this. I'm going to be putting out weekly videos about where God is in the midst of this outbreak, and we'll address different questions and concerns that are coming up for us. So please, if you have anything that's on your mind, anything you want to see me address, anything you want us to get a conversation going on, write down in the comment section below so we can talk about it. Let's bond together in this time and see what we can come up with. See where God is in the midst of all this craziness that we're living through. My prayers are with you all. Remember, we're going to get through this. We are in this together. See you guys soon.